Biodiversity is the capital. Araucaria angustifolia, Paraná pine tree. The Araucaria angustifolia tree is the symbol of Paraná state. Recent studies focus on the relationship it has had with humans and its history of little or no environmental concern. Research studies show that its use as timber for various purposes goes back as far as the colonial period. The Araucaria tree has even been used by the Portuguese for shipbuilding. In Paraná, the relationship between the man and Araucaria has begun during the colonization of the state and the first economic cycles around 1870. At that time, large areas of land were covered by Araucaria trees were still present over the entire state. Apart from being used as construction material, it was also used for manufacturing furniture that had been ordered in large quantities by the incoming European immigrants. The great Araucaria forests were disappearing and were soon being replaced by corn and wheat plantations, among others. Biodiversity and industry. The forests that remained intact tell us a story of love for nature, such as of Ferdinando Schaefer, the chairman of Águia Sistemas. The company, which is involved in steel and chemical production, owns 2 forest tracts, 8,000 hectares of pine tree plantation and 1,500 hectares of Araucaria forest. His love and engagement in nature conservation came to life when he was 18 years old. But today, he can exactly point out why he got involved in the conservation of the species.
Quando eu vi aquele terreno,
when I saw the land full of those young trees, I thought that if I bought a plantation of pine wood like that one, I could have prosperous future there. When we saw that the laws made it difficult for us to cut the araucarias, I realized that it would be impossible to make it profitable. Then we started the process of reforestation of the species, mainly pine tree, which grows very fast and can be sold as timber wood without problems. Even though some areas have been degraded, nowadays we have the technology to recover these areas and restore the biodiversity that we once had. Brazil has been actively preserving the biodiversity but hasn't really succeeded in showing this image to the rest of the world. And it is an image that must be seen. Nowadays, if you want to sell a piece of furniture made of wood, the buyer wants to know if it has been environmentally certified. It is time Brazil starts showing that we really are preserving biodiversity, and that is why our products are more valuable than others. The city of Telêmaco Borba is one of the best examples of the cooperation between the industry and the environment. The paper factory, Klabin, is the biggest producer and exporter of paper and cardboard in the country. The industrial and forestry activities are carried out in harmony with the environment. Along with 185,000 hectares of pine and eucalyptus plantations, the company has 120,000 hectares of natural forests. The plantation process is done in a way that it resembles a chessboard made of natural and man-made commercial forests. The so-called biological corridors are in charge of making the connection between the natural areas, allowing the fauna to cross the forest without having to pass through the reforestation areas. Among the highlights is the animal reproduction that influences the control of natural predators. Klabin is also regarded as the pioneer of the adoption of the concept of sustainable development. The environment has become profitable. Since we started the reforestation process, the one that resembles a chessboard, the number of parasites and diseases has decreased, and it means higher profit margin for the company. The maintenance of the forest is cheaper. The population is now aware and they try to save and recycle natural resources.
Em contrapartida significa retorno.
Quem dá uma guinada construtivista como
When people start making constructive changes like this one, that is made in the name of the environment, and still be productive, this is a really important factor that can be used by the company in the publicity campaigns. It is justly taking advantage of its new posture.
Está tirando proveito junto ao mercado dessa nova postura e com justiça.
O empresariado tem a consciência, tem a percepção de que a biodiversidade é a capital.
The business people know now that biodiversity is the capital. However, they feel the need for knowledge and new skills in order to be able to manage the complex process of being profitable and preserving the environment at the same time.
Obter lucros e simultaneamente fazer isso de uma forma ambientalmente apropriada.
Biodiversity is a capital that can't only be measured in economical terms, and should be considered an intangible capital that is directly linked with the future of new generations.